After receiving the ball, Switkowski is dump tackled by Taylor Adams. The MRO did not look at this one, so there's no fine and no suspension for Taylor Adams. And for me, I think that's about right. Does look like a pretty good tackle, looks fair and clean. I'm happy that this is no fine or suspension. Jordan Boyd from Carlton has been hit with a rough conduct charge, dangerous tackle against Darcy Byrne-Jones from Port Adelaide. This happened in the second quarter. The MRO class this as careless conduct, severe impact and high contact. He's been sent straight to the tribunal, which means this will be at least 3 weeks. What are your opinions on this? Do you think this tackle is worth 3 weeks? I'm not sure about 3 weeks personally. Darcy Parish has received no fine or no suspension for this so-called dangerous tackle on Tanner Bruin, therefore he is free to play next week. Quickly, I just want to say a big thank you to all my supporters. You can become a channel member in the link below. More importantly, I've set up a new landline phone that you can call and you can leave a message. It will go to me and I can answer your questions. I'm going to start a new series where I answer your questions on AFL. They're obviously just my personal opinions, but if you'd like to hear a little bit more, please call the number on the screen. It'll ring for a few seconds and then go straight to voicemail. Leave me a message and let's create a new series together of asking me questions about AFL or other things AFL related. Let's give it a crack and see what it's like. Dustin Martin is pretty lucky to get away with just a striking offence here against Alex Witherden, where he elbows him in the stomach. As you know, Slobbo absolutely hates him, so he went on a massive rant. This happened in the second quarter. The MRO class this as intentional conduct, low impact, body contact. For this, it's a $5,000 sanction with an early plea can be downgraded to $3,000. Do you agree with Robbo? Do you think this should have been a week for Dusty? Josh Rochelle has absolutely lost his mind here. He's actually struck Jack Buckley in the face with what looks like a little right hook. This happened in the second quarter. It was classed as intentional conduct, medium impact and high contact. For this massive brain fade, Josh Rochelle is going to be out for 2 weeks. Dane Rampy has been hit with a rough conduct charge, which was an off-the-ball bump against Lockie McNeil from the Western Bulldogs. This happened in the first quarter. The MRO graded this as careless conduct, high impact and high contact. For this, he has been given a 2-week suspension. Do you think a bump off the ball when the player is not expecting it is worth a 2-week suspension? He did bump him off the ball. Obviously the player wouldn't have been able to see the bump coming, but I'm not entirely sure a 2-week ban is right for this. Definitely a fine, maybe 1 week at absolute most. 2 weeks seems very harsh for a bump that seems to happen every week. What are your thoughts on this? Braden Maynard has absolutely slammed Michael Walters here in this tackle. The MRO did not look at this one and made no sanctions in the way of fines or suspension. It was a legal tackle. Walters was probably off balance as he was trying to kick the ball. Play on. Very interesting to see that no one was cited for any sort of engaging in a melee here. I thought there might have been something, as the fighting did seem to go on for a little bit longer, but apparently the AFL and the MRO decided that no charges would be laid here. Zach Merritt from Essendon has been charged with staging. As you can see, Mark O'Connor taps him on the back and he over-exaggerated the contact, Zach Merritt. This happened in the first quarter. This is a fixed financial sanction, which is $1,500, which can be downgraded to $1,000 with an early plea. I wasn't able to find any footage of this, but apparently Jai Newcomb from Hawthorn has been charged with striking Harry Sheasel from North Melbourne. This happened in the second quarter and the MRO graded this as intentional conduct, low impact and body contact. For that, it's a $3,000 fine, which can be reduced to $2,000 with an early plea. Another off-the-ball incident, this one including Marlon Pickett, who has blocked Jeremy McGovern from contesting the ball. It's an off-the-ball hit technically, I guess, because he wasn't contesting the ball itself. He was charged with a rough conduct charge in the fourth quarter. This was classed as careless conduct, low impact and body contact. For this, it's a $3,000 sanction which can be downgraded with an early plea to $2,000. Harry Perryman and Josh Rochelle have both been charged with engaging in a melee, which is their first offence of the night. This happened in the second quarter. It's a fixed financial sanction of $1,500, which can be downgraded to $1,000 with an early plea. I know Rochelle was definitely off that night, but I think this is pretty harsh on him for him to cop the fine as well. As you can see, Perryman absolutely slams Rochelle after the ball and the play has been stopped, and for some reason, because he retaliated to the hit himself, he cops a fine for that. I think that's pretty unfair. What do you think? And then again, Josh Rochelle misconduct charge against Connor Iden for the elbow to the throat of Connor Iden. I really don't like this one. As you know, I am a Crow supporter, but I really do not like to see this in footy. After the ball is considered dead, he goes in with the elbow into Connor Iden's throat. I think they should totally rule this out of the game. It might be a little bit over the top for me, but I think this should be an instant suspension. This is absolutely not footy. This is not the MMA. We don't need that in the game. Get rid of it. A week suspension, I think. But for this, he copped a $1,500 fine. With an early plea, this can be downgraded to $1,000. The Sydney runner here is very lucky not to receive a fine. I guess the club would have got the fine for this. As you can see, the runner actually throws the boot in the end back to Callum Mills, who lost the boot. It came very close to hitting the umpire, and if it did, I'm sure it would be quite a hefty fine for the club. So just be a little bit more careful next time. I said this in the oddities video, Van Rooyen either gets a shove or he flops for a free kick here. I think there's three options: either pay the free kick, there's minor contact, no charge, or the third, Van Rooyen gets a fine for flopping. It happens in the AFL way too many times. We don't want this to become soccer. Let's stop this. Give them a fine. If they flop, give them a fine. That's my opinion. What do you think? Zach Merritt was charged with a staging free, so why is this not a staging free as well? Taryn Thomas from North Melbourne has been charged with striking Mitch Lewis from Hawthorn in the second quarter. The MRO graded this as intentional conduct, low impact and body contact. For this, Taryn Thomas is facing a $3,000 sanction, which can be downgraded to $2,000 with an early plea. Cam Rayner has absolutely slammed Rayshaw's head into the ground, but the MRO did not even look at this once. I guess because he didn't come off with concussion, the MRO do not look at it. I honestly thought this would have been looked at a little bit more closely than this. Jerry from North Melbourne has been charged with striking Connor Nash in the third quarter. This is a fixed financial sanction of $2,500, which can be downgraded to $1,500 with an early plea. I was unable to find any better footage than this. The only other charge that I was unable to find footage of was Luke Davies-Uniacke from North Melbourne was charged with careless contact with an umpire, which was his first offence in the fourth quarter. This was graded as careless contact with an umpire, which is a $1,500 fine. With an early plea, can be downgraded to $1,000. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to do a Q&A with me, please call that number in the video earlier. I'll post it here now. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.